What is up, everybody? Smooth here, and today's video we have Wukong in the jungle. And a little backstory before we begin about this skin is actually we were looking around, hovering around, and thinking, okay, what skin do I want to get for Wukong? And before the Jade Dragon skin came in, there was the volcanic one and then the Emperor Wukong, right? And then I'm not exaggerating, I'm not joking when I say that it was either 1 day or 2 days after we picked up this skin. As right here we managed to get, we nearly thought we wouldn't pick up this skin, this kill right here, this first blood kill. We were actually really mad. I was like, what? How did we not get the kill? But our red buff manages to pick up Annie. We get the first blood. At about 1 or 2 days after we picked up this volcanic skin, the Jade Dragon Wukong skin actually came into the game. I was like, you gotta be shitting me, man. Like, are you serious right now? Because when I was buying the skins, I wanted to buy it for the characters that I would be playing. So, you know, there was Rengar, Wukong, Pantheon, and all that. And then we were kind of just thinking, okay, maybe I shouldn't buy the skins because, you know, who knows, a patch might come and then a new skin comes, and then Lord and behold, like I buy this Wukong skin a day after or 2 days after the Jade Dragon skin comes. I was like, man, this is absolutely so stupid. But I honestly think that this volcanic skin is probably better visually than effects. You know, the Jade Dragon actually is really nice because it's really like green and it goes well with the video game, the Wild Rift. But overall, I think this skin is definitely the better skin out of the Wukong skins. But for today's video, I actually wanted to touch up a little bit about Wukong, and as you can see, like why, in my opinion, why people or they're just not playing Wukong anymore. And in my opinion, it's really not because he sucks or he's a bad champion or a difficult champion to play. But for me, it all comes down to is like, why would you play Wukong? You know, that for me is like the biggest, like why people aren't playing, or maybe people don't want to play Wukong, is why would you play him when there's characters and legends in the game such as Pantheon, Xin Zhao, Camille, Kha'Zix right now, or Lee Sin, right, that dominate the jungle. Xin Zhao has, you know, dropped off a little bit, but overall, right, his still early game is very, very well. And if you were to, if you were to link them up, Wukong and Xin Zhao, probably very, very similar, right? You know, their damage isn't that insane. But then comes the question is like, why would you pick up Wukong? Like, if you're playing in a ranked game, why would you go with Wukong, right? And then to me, that's like the biggest concern, because right now, honestly, these past couple of weeks, I've been hovering over Wukong. And this video right here is actually the last time I played Wukong. It was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 to 3 weeks already since the last time I played Wukong. And I've been hovering over him. And of course, you know, Wukong, he definitely has some of the best wombo combos in the entire game, right? But as you right here, you see, this is probably one of the biggest issues for me that I have when it comes to Wukong, is his damage. So that's why I'm like, why would you play him when you can play Camille, Kha'Zix, or Pantheon, where their damage is much more solid and their early game and mid and late game is probably much better. Whereas Wukong, you definitely have the best wombo combos, right? Like you got Wukong Malphite, Wukong Yasuo, and then Wukong Diana, as you saw at the Rift Herald, the dragon, right? So really, really nice, you know, combos that you can get with Wukong. But then right here, as you can see, like just the damage is something that I guess just isn't there yet for people to like want to play him more. Or there's just something lacking in Wukong, I guess, that make people not too interested in wanting to pick him up in their ranked games. Because honestly, I could say that recently when the latest buff he got, right, where they removed and now he gets 100% healing on all minions, I can definitely say people have played him, right, when the patch came out. But then it really takes time, and then people start disappearing from Wukong. And that's what I actually saw. Now, again, this might just be my server, you know, in my games, right? Because I honestly play against Ramos and Mumu much more often than Wukong, when Wukong probably is a much more solid pick because, like I mentioned, he doesn't suck or anything, or he's not difficult to play. He's actually a very easy champion to play. But then when you're in your ranked games and then you're hovering over, the champ select, the character select, it just, Wukong probably is the last, not, I wouldn't say the last, but like mid pick as to like why would you pick him, because you have Kha'Zix, whose damage is absolutely insane. Camille, who is probably the best well-rounded jungler right now, right? Like if you talk about team fights, Baron lane, jungle, she is just absolutely the best. Then you have, of course, Lee Sin, the blind monk. I mean, he's top tier. No one can defeat him as of right now. And then, after that, right, you got Pantheon. Then people rather play Amumu, right? And people rather play Ramos. So Wukong's just there, kind of floating around in that area right now as to why. Like, why would you pick him or why would you play him when you got these characters that you can play? Granted, Camille might be hard. It's definitely harder. That's why, people would rather pick up, Xin Zhao, someone who's simple, or Pantheon, which damage is really good in the early game, ganking potential really, really well. And again, it comes back to my biggest topic about Wukong is the damage. Like when you're playing Wukong, or when I'm playing Wukong, for some reason, the damage to me just isn't there. He's really just team orientated, like Gragas, you could say, right? Where Gragas, of course, he's very team reliant. You can get really, really good plays, but then the damage is lacking a bit. Same as Nunu, where I feel like just the damage overall isn't there and very team orientated, right? You gotta, your team's gotta help out a little bit here and there. Where it's not like Kha'Zix or Rengar, where you can just literally take over the game by yourself. You can probably do that with Wukong, but as you can see this game, our Diana does very, very well, right? So we had that extra carry to help bring the game to the victory. And that's the issue that I guess, with Gragas, Nunu, and Wukong, you would definitely have. Because with Pantheon, I can honestly say I have solo carried games. You can actually get on really, really good lead, no matter if it's against Lee Sin or Rengar, Kha'Zix, and still win the game. Or even Camille. I've played against these champions, so with Pantheon I can confirm that you can definitely hyper carry a game. And then with Wukong, even though I've tried full attack builds, I've tried it, and if you've been following, watching my videos, you would know that I just do not like to go those full attack builds. I don't know what it is about me. I guess it's just my play style or the games that I'm in. I continuously find myself having to build, armor items, magic resistant items, Sterox gauge is just a core item in my build. I don't know, I guess majority it really just is my games, really, my server, my region for sure. Because I've seen videos, people go Yumu's, Death Dance, Cyrilda's Grudge, and I've tried those. I've actually tried those. But then I'm dead in 3 seconds. I'm I don't know about this, I really don't like it. Especially when your team isn't also playing very good as well. And then you're that frontliner, that initiator. I have to take the responsibility, and then I'm dying in 2-3 seconds. I'm no, I'd rather just build tanky. So Trinity Force into Sterox or Black Cleaver, anything like that. These are definitely my favorite builds, and this is probably one of my favorite builds right now on Wukong. Trinity, Sterox, Death Dance, or Cyrilda's. But I have tried, Trinity, Yumu's, Death Dance, Cyrilda's. I'm it just doesn't work for me, Even with Shyvana, I've tried to play with the really, really nice build is Trinity, Blade of the Rune King, Death Dance, Wit's End, and then Guardian's Angel. But then with that build, same results, I was just dying. I was jumping in, ultimately, they would focus me, I would dead, my Guardian's Angel pop, boom, lose a team fight, lose the game. I'm no. I don't think this will work for me. I just got to go back to my standard Trinity into Sterox gauge. But overall, Wukong, he's definitely a solid champion. Still very, very good. And I think that he will be, I don't think he would receive any buffs in the upcoming patches, because personally I don't see or think that he would actually need any. I mean, of course, you know, Riot, they do weird things anyway, like nerfing Aurelion Sol. You know, nerfing the Mumu. I was like, why would they do that? But they do weird things, you know. They're the leading company in doing weird things. I mean, if you follow the League of Legends scene, then you would know exactly how weird their decisions can be sometimes, and you don't gotta hope for much, really. So either way, you know, they could nerf him some more or they could buff him some more. Either way, it could go really either way with Riot. So I guess, but overall right now, he's still a very, very solid champion, still very, very good. But I guess, you know, again, begs a question, right? Like, why play Wukong when you can play these other champions who are just as simple and just can carry just like him, right? Because even myself, like I mentioned, you know, I'm hovering over him, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go Camille. And Camille right now is definitely one of my most favorite champions, even though she got nerfed slightly. But they nerfed Rengar kind of to the dirt, so I'm just like, man, kind of sad about that. But overall, that's kind of, I've been hovering over to new champions, and since I've been playing new champions, just Wukong just hasn't been one of them, really. But don't take me wrong, he's definitely very, very good. But I think it really depends on the server as well, right? Like, I think the server, the region, if you play in different regions, different servers, then of course your picks, you know, your meta would be very, very different from everybody else's. And right here we managed to end the game. So overall, a very, very good game with Wukong. So as you can see, you know, team fight, definitely one of the best team fight champions. Your ultimate is absolutely insane. And then, like I mentioned, you know, some of the best combos you can have in the entire game is with Wukong, right? Wukong Malphite, Wukong Diana, Wukong Yasuo. Wukong Yasuo is probably one of the most satisfying and easiest wombo combos to get. All you gotta do is ultimate, and Yasuo, all Yasuo has to do is just press his ultimate and then you win the team fight. But yeah, just really wanted to make a video to touch up on that, because I haven't seen Wukong being played very, very often. Maybe it's not the same for you guys, you know, wherever your region is, your server is. But for me, that's kind of how it is right now for Wukong. So I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.